Do you like free things? Do you like audiobooks? Are you looking for a way to help support this show? If so, visit today's sponsor, audible.com, to get your first audiobook for free. You can visit popcornfinance.com/audible, and not only will you get something for free, you also help support this show. So thanks so much for listening, and I hope you enjoy today's episode. Hey, this is Chris. Hope you're doing well, and welcome to Popcorn Finance, where we discuss finance in about the time it takes to make a bag of popcorn. I am coming to you live from the backseat of my car in the parking lot of a grocery store because we got back later than expected from our flight from Denver, Colorado. We had some delays or some weather delays that kind of kept us grounded, so I thought I was going to get home much earlier than I actually did, and there's some editing that I still needed to do. So the episode I had planned isn't quite ready yet. I don't know, I'm somewhat of a perfectionist when it comes to editing, and I didn't want to rush and put it all together because I would know I would be up until like 1 o'clock in the morning trying to do that. So to prevent myself from torturing myself and trying to record and edit something that wasn't quite ready, I decided, hey, let me give you a quick recap of this weekend, because this was somewhat of a tiny home adventure / travel hacking, I guess, first run for me. So a couple of things going on. So I'll start off with the travel hacking side. So as you know, I'm somewhat fascinated with travel hacking. I love the idea of traveling for free or pretty close to it. I think most of you are probably in that same boat. And I had Lee from baldthoughts.com on the podcast. He was episode 48 and 49, and I believe also 63, where he came on, gave some tips, gave some basics of travel hacking and what it is and how to get started. So great episodes, a lot of information if you want to check those out. And so I dipped my toe, I guess, for the first time into travel hacking. I got the companion pass through Southwest, which allows you to take one person with you for free on any flight that you take. And I don't think there's any restrictions on that. I could be wrong, but from what I understand, anytime you book a flight for yourself on Southwest, you can book another ticket completely free. You just have to pay, for me, it's $5.60 in taxes, which is like a steal. So I've been wanting to use this pass for some time now. So I also have another fascination with tiny homes. I've been posting pictures about it. I had Alan from Dream Big, Live Tiny. He was on episode 64, and he talked about, tiny living. We talked about the experiences, why you would do it, and all those different things. And I've just been watching shows constantly about it. I don't know why I'm so fascinated by it. I'm about 6'2". Currently, I'm probably about 245 pounds. So I'm not a small person. So everyone's always like, why do you want to be in a tiny home? It's like, I don't know. I just like the idea of they're very well designed, for one, and then two, they're much less expensive than a traditional home, especially for me here in Southern California. So I'm really interested in the idea of, keeping your expenses low, achieving financial independence, and one of those ways is to have low living expenses. So all this together just makes me really interested in what tiny homes are, and just the idea of living in one. So when I did that episode with Alan from Dream Big, Live Tiny, I noticed on his account it featured this one tiny home in Phoenix, Arizona, and it just caught my eye. It was really well designed. It's just like a beautiful home. And I even messaged them, and I was like, this is a really great house. Hopefully one day I'll be in the area and I'll have a chance to stay. And I was like, you know what? I got this companion pass. I want to be in a tiny house, so let's give it a try. Phoenix is very close to Los Angeles. It's like an hour flight. So we decided to go there and give the companion pass a try and a tiny home a try. So flew down there. Just give you a quick recap, because I actually got a chance to record with the owners of the tiny home. So there's going to be a special episode with Cassandra and Gilbert. They have the Nest tiny home in Phoenix, Arizona. So they're going to be on a future episode. So I'm going to be working on that for you, get that out pretty soon. So when we got there, they gave us great instructions that the tiny home is located in their backyard. So they even showed us, how to get in and all that stuff. And I walked up to the house. It was way smaller than I thought it was going to be. I already know it's a tiny home, but then I looked at it and I was like, this looks beautiful, but this looks tiny. Can I even fit in this thing? And, I opened the door, and it was just way bigger than I ever thought it would be. And it's just so nice. I mean, it lived up to the pictures. They have great pictures up, and it's just a beautiful house. So if you're not following me on Instagram, go check out at Popcorn Finance Podcast. And I put some pictures up, some videos up. That way you can get a feel for it. But it's a beautiful home, and I'll be talking about this more in detail in a future episode. And I'll be posting things so that you know when that episode's coming out. So quick recap. It was great. I wish I could have stayed there longer. We were only there for one day because we decided to go to Denver, Colorado, because hey, why not? It's a short flight. My wife gets to travel for free. I have these points, and I think we may have paid cash for one of the flights. It was maybe like $70, and then she got to travel for free, on top of that. So we're like, hey, let's go. We're here. We have a weekend. Why not go? So we flew up there, spent some time in Denver. Didn't really have any plan. We ended up seeing a Rockies game there, Colorado Rockies, their baseball team. That was cool. It was hotter than I thought it would be. I figured leaving California, everywhere else would be cooler, but we went to Phoenix and Denver, which were hotter or just as hot as home is for us. So, that was nice. Got to check out the city a little bit. And then on the way back, on our flight back to California, there were some weather delays. And that's why I ended up being home much later than I thought I would be. But, all in all, it was a fun trip. Got to stay in a tiny house, got to fly for really cheap. And, it was a fun experience. So yeah, that's a quick recap for me of what happened this weekend. And there will be some episodes coming out soon in the future about my tiny home experience. Have some more pictures, some more videos to share with you all. Oh, and one extra bonus piece of information. I ran into Jen Smith from Saving with Spunk and the Frugal Friends podcast. And she was actually on episode 45 of this podcast, where she came on and talked about her book, The No Spin Challenge. And, she's a really great friend. And it was just by chance, her and her husband were flying to Seattle from Florida, and they had a layover in Denver, and we had just arrived to Denver, and I think their flight had been delayed, and we just happened to cross paths, and I saw them sitting in a chair, and I was like, I think that's Jen. So I said hi, and it was her, thankfully. I thought I was going to be some weirdo talking to someone I didn't know, but it turned out to be her, and it was just really cool coincidence. I guess it's a small world, we're both traveling from opposite coasts, and we randomly meet in Denver. So I thought that was cool. That was fun. So yeah, that wraps up my trip pretty much. That was pretty much everything. So yeah, stay on the lookout for the future tiny home episode that'll be coming soon with Cassandra and Gilbert, the owners of the Nest Tiny Home in Phoenix, Arizona. So it was great getting their take on owning a tiny home, renting through Airbnb, some tips for you all if you're thinking about renting through Airbnb. So I think it'll be a great episode. You can follow me on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook. Just search for Popcorn Finance, and that way we can just it's a good way to connect. I love hearing from you. Send me a message. Let me know what you're interested in, what you like to hear, and I will more than likely feature you on an episode if you have a question for me. So thanks for joining me for this special backseat edition of Popcorn Finance. That sounds really wrong once I said that out loud, but I've already said it, so I'm just gonna leave that in there. Hope you have an amazing rest of your week, and I'll talk to you soon.
Yeah, boy, keep it poppin' like Mary Poppins.